Does the language of phonics seem like a foreign language to you? If you're new to homeschooling, I've got 3 reviews today of phonics programs that'll help you out. Stick with us. Hey, I'm Alison Smith, your homeschool mentor. We've homeschooled a state trooper, a freshman All-American baseball player, and a full scholarship winner, so I can help you too. When we started homeschooling, I had never taught anyone to read, so that may be what you're concerned about too, is how do I know how to do something that I've never done before? Well, once you get the right program for your family, phonics becomes a lot easier. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. Today, I have 3 programs that are going to be easy for the beginner, easy for someone who has never homeschooled before. And I'm going to rate them based on my system of RATE, your resources, your abilities, your time, and your efforts. My hope with these reviews is that every homeschool family will see that there's not necessarily a good or a bad curriculum that's out there. It's just the right curriculum is for your family. So I use a rating system. I use the word rate as an acrostic to help you evaluate how your curriculum will fit into your family's needs and wants. So the first one is R, that's resources. The next one is abilities. That's already the skills that you have, the skills and talents that are natural to you. And then your time, because we all have different time requirements for programs. And finally, the effort. How much more effort do you want to take to learn new skills? So today our 3 programs are ABECA, which is a tried and true traditional method. We have All About Reading, which is a new one that's only been around for a little bit less time. And then also another one that's been around for decades and decades called Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Lessons. All right, ABECA is a traditional program, which means that it was designed for a traditional school setting and that we adapt it in a homeschool setting. So it's going to have lesson plans that are scripted that you can buy. It is tried and true in that it's been used for decades. We have several generations of people who have used ABECA. There's lots of resources, secondary resources, and the main text of ABECA. So if you're going to use a traditional approach, it's one of those that you might want to look at. In terms of resources, like I said, it's got all sorts of resources. It's got visual aids, it's got lesson plans, it's got exercises, it's got readers, it's got everything that you could buy in a kit. Usually in a grade kit, it usually goes from pre-K to 2nd or 3rd grade, and then by then your children will be reading. For your effort, you're not going to need to know a lot about phonics and how to do it, but they have a very specific system that you are going to want to catch up on a little bit. You're going to want to know what do all these means. What are long vowels, short vowels, all of those things. So you're going to need to know a little bit about phonics with your abilities. So if you know how to read and you can figure out how to teach, you might want to look up on some of those teaching methodologies that they use. Your time. ABECA is pretty time consuming because it has a lot of activities that go along with it. So you're going to need to be there as a teacher for a good amount of time. I would schedule, these lessons are probably 45 to 50 minutes a piece, all encompassing with the reading and the phonics as well, and the exercises. Finally is your effort, okay? So you're going to have some effort. You're going to need to grade and look at the assignments that they do. You're going to need to understand each day how to schedule the lessons, and then you're going to need to know how to teach. They do give you a lesson plan that is pretty scripted, but you're going to need to look over that before you start. You can't read it word for your paper or your kid won't be interested. All right, who should pick ABECA? Very structured homeschoolers. If you like a more traditional method in your classroom, if you like textbooks, if you like to have everything scripted out for you, ABECA might be for you. If you have a multi-parent home where multiple people are teaching, you might want ABECA because it's going to be easy for you to put that down and have someone else pick up right where you left off. You can just kind of make a mark in your teacher plans. So those are 2 things. If you are short on resources like your budget, ABECA might not be the one for you because it is expensive unless you find it used. And we do see a lot of these used out there, but everything is consumable in the exercises. So if you are looking at a tighter budget, ABECA might not be the one for you. Let's look at All About Reading. All right, it is designed specifically for homeschoolers, so they are not expecting you to know anything about phonics or how to teach phonics with the program. It's not adapted from a classroom settings. So it also is multi-sensory, so it is not just going to have visual aids, it's going to have more kinesthetic things as well. As far as resources, it's going to be a little bit less expensive, but it is an all-encompassing program, so you're going to have to put a little bit out in your budget for that, okay? So there's going to be the manipulatives, which are some little tiles you may want to buy. There's some online games that they have, workbooks, as well as some readers as well. And there is a teacher manual that will teach you what to do. Let's look at your abilities. Like I said, they don't expect you to know how to teach phonics because they're writing this for homeschool parents. So your abilities can be a little bit lower than I would say in Abeka as far as knowing how to teach phonics or knowing anything about phonics. As far as your time, this one takes less time than Abeka. The main reason is that they have written it not for that hour-long class period or for a classroom. They've written it specifically for parents. They're shorter lessons and a little bit more gentle than Abeka does. All right, so let's look at your effort. All right, what do you need to do beforehand in your mental effort and your physical effort? So mentally, you just need to look over the next lesson before you start it. You don't really need to know anything before you start a lesson. You'll also need to gather your things together and know which manipulatives, which tiles. They use tiles for the resources that you'll need to get so that they're more organized in that. But other than that, you're not going to have much effort. So this one is a really good alternative that is still structured, yet at the same time requires less resources, less ability beforehand, less time, and less effort. All right, so who should pick All About Learning? Like I said before, you're going to want the multi-sensory learners, the kinesthetic learners, the people who like to, the kids who like to touch things. And even you as a parent, if you are a kinesthetic learner, you may enjoy teaching this program more than Abeka, say, for example. Also, families that have varied learning places, because it's adaptable and can go in different situations. Say you need to drop your kids off at a grandparent, or you work from home and you need to pick up your all your items and take them things. They have a carrying case. It all comes together. So it's very concise in how it comes together. So it's easy to move along with you. Or if, say, for instance, you like to travel with your family, you can take it with you as you travel and as you're either vacationing or learning in other places. Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Lessons is a tried and true basic program. It's one book, and people have been using it for generations. It is only one resource. There are some free resources out there, and I'm sure if you Google, you'll also find some supplements that you can use and print out yourself. In terms of resources, you buy one book, it's about $20. It's really inexpensive. It's very gentle. And your abilities, it expects you to know absolutely nothing, and it tells you exactly what to do in this book that's about a couple inches big. As far as the time, it tells you that these lessons take 20 minutes a day, which doesn't seem like a long time, but they're very concentrated and they're very precise in what they're teaching. The last one is your effort. You're not going to have to make any effort. You're going to get this book and you're going to take it with you to the doctor's office or to the playground or cuddle up on the couch, and you're going to do the lessons that are in the book. It's very simple. And at the end of it, your child should be able to know how to read enough to do some small readers. Who should use Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Lessons? Number one is busy parents, because it only takes 20 minutes a day. You can do it anytime during the day, after work, before work, during lunch, during a toddler's nap. It's very gentle and very easy for a parent to pick up and use anytime. The second one is the budget conscious family. If you have multiple kids, if you have just quit work and are coming home to homeschool, this might be a great option for you to start with. If it's not successful for your family or you feel like it's not rigorous enough, you can always go into another program. But this is a good one that you can even borrow from the library first and then buy it later. Like I said, on Amazon, I think it's around $20 or $30, so it's extremely budget friendly. I'm constantly adding new reviews and also book reviews for parents to learn how to homeschool better. Hit that subscribe and like button, check back with us, and see where we are next. All right, so today we've looked at 3 phonics program. I hope this has given you confidence to narrow your choices and understand that in most cases, you don't need to know a lot about phonics to teach your kid to read successfully. I did it, and I did not know anything about phonics at all before we started. I didn't even know about what phonics program my oldest was doing in school. I don't even know if he did phonics, as a matter of fact. So Abeka is great for traditional families. It is the most expensive option that we looked at, but it is tried and true, and it's very structured. You can find it used online. Second is all about reading, and those are great for those kinesthetic kids, if those kids that just have to feel it, touch it, and do it. Finally, for that budget conscious family, is teach your child to read in 100 lessons. It's all in one book, very inexpensive, easy to learn, and give you confidence as you teach your kids to read.